Rangers, Royal Britannia, The New Generation, Episode 1. A Royal Beginning. 5 years ago. The wind howled across the recent battlefield, where the Ultra Rangers had given their life to protect the planet. Wes Collins, the Red Time Force Ranger, stood alone, his eyes scanning the broken earth where the Ultra Rangers had made their final stand. Wes. The voice drifted through the breeze. He turned slightly, eyes narrowing, as he followed the sound towards the edge of the forest. The light dimmed as the clouds moved overhead, and there, half buried in the soil, two golden objects caught his eye. He knelt down, brushed away the dirt. They shimmered faintly in his palm. Ultra coins, marked with the same insignia that once adorned the Ultra Ranger's armour. "They're still out there," he whispered, his voice barely audible. With a deep breath, Wes slipped the coins into his pocket. Months later, the world had moved on, but Wes hadn't. In the Ranger Council command hub, holographic displays glowed with mission reports and council updates. Jen stood across from him, arms crossed. "Wes, are you sure about this?" she asked. "Suspending the leadership vote doesn't feel right. The council needs structure." "I know," Wes replied calmly. "But until we understand how to harness the ultra powers, the vote doesn't matter. We can't lead without purpose." Jen shook her head. "You're holding on to the past." "Maybe," Wes admitted, "but the Ultra Rangers stood for something greater. Unity, sacrifice. If the Ultra Guards are meant to honour that, then we have to do this right. We'll find a way, and when we do, things will go back to normal." Wes felt the coins in his pocket. 5 years later, the portal generator hummed with energy and an interdimensional portal crackled to life. Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger, comfortably emerged. "Hey, Rocky, Adam, how's things?" Mark greeted the legendary duo, part of the leadership of the Ranger Council, known as the Ultra Guards. "Mark, thanks for coming," Adam acknowledged. "I wanted to ask if the Ultra Guards could come visit Universe 2118 and inspire my new team," said Mark. Grudgingly, Rocky added, "There may not be an Ultra Guard for much longer. I'll explain, but first we need to show you something." Leading Mark to the training hall, they ascended to the observation level, where Wes Collins awaited, visibly anxious. "Wes, how's—" Mark started, then spotted his old team, the Ranger forms of the English, Scottish, Irish and Welsh Ranger, training. You found a way to use the coins." "Good. They'd want that," Mark said, a hint of sadness as he recalled what happened to his original team. Wes began explaining the unique natures of the power coins, comparing them to Jason's Master Morpher. Mark sensed trouble. I guess the Jason I met in another universe was a close match?" "We had no choice," Wes continued, prompting an interruption from Adam. "You didn't consult the other Ultra Guards about this until it was too late." Rocky pressed the intercom button. "Guys, take your helmets off, please." The four Rangers stopped their training, revealing their faces. Anger surged through Mark, and without hesitation, he punched Wes squarely in the face. Mark stood on a balcony, gazing at the coastline view surrounding the Ranger Council headquarters, fury surging within him, an ominous dark energy growing stronger. "Mark," a calm voice emerged from behind him. "Jason, the man Mark had rescued from his own despair in another universe. Wes has been in the spotlight for months. The Ultra Guards were investigating him even before they approved my appointment, Jason explained. Mark questioned, why are they investigating him? After the Ultra Rangers fell, Wes formed the Ultra Guards, Jason continued. Wasn't that a good thing? Mark inquired. Yes, but he also halted the leader vote. No votes since Wes took charge. He's obsessed with creating more Ultra Rangers. He attempted it with me, but I lack the connection to the Ultra Grid, like I do with the Morphing Grid. But there's new Ultra Rangers now, right? Questioned Mark. Yes, but it didn't please Wes. And there's something else he kept from you. Jason disclosed, just as Wes emerged on the scene. They're your team, from Universe 19. I recruited them before you went there. They had a grid connection in their universe. They're not Rangers. They never would be, said Wes. Mark furiously exclaimed, and you thought it was okay to bring them here without telling me? After everything we've been through? Wes struggled with guilt, explaining, when I saw the Ultra Rangers perish, and with my own team in comas in the 31st century, I felt helpless. Mark, still angry, stood firm. You should have told me, Wes. The Ranger Council was about unity, teamwork. I lost sight of that chasing Nephis, but now, with the Global Rangers, I realise we must work together. Mark and the others left, leaving Wes alone to grapple with his actions. In the training hall, the 4 Rangers took a brief break. What was that all about? Asked Artie. I don't know, but I'd definitely sticking to that guy's good side, said Jeff. Hell of a punch, remarked Sam. When do you think Wes will send us out on a mission? Inquired Jordan. Wes is no longer in charge. I am, declared Eric, as he entered with Mark. The Ranger Council and the Ultra Guards have suspended Wes, announced Eric. I'm Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger. I was with the original Royal Britannia Rangers before everything went south, Mark shared, still grappling with the pain of losing his team. Ranger life never goes as planned, he reflected. Are you going to lead us? Asked Artie. Mark and I won't. Artie, you're the leader now, declared Eric. That's great, Artie, they all cheered. But what about you, Mark? Sam inquired. Mark recalled all the good times he had with the Royal Britannia Rangers. I have to return to my own team, the Global Rangers, in Universe 2118, Mark explained. Stay for a while. Tell us about your team. Tell us about the Global Rangers, they requested. Mark happily shared the tale of his friends and the adventures they were having in Universe 2118. Meanwhile, deep beneath the Ranger Council HQ, Wes paced in Gosei's cave. They don't appreciate you, a voice echoed. They don't understand what you've done for them, for the world, another added. But we do, the voices harmonized. Wes held the 2 coins, one with a Fenrir and one with a Leviathan. We can give you the power greater than Ultra powers. Back at Ranger Council HQ, Mark had just finished telling the new Royal Britannia Rangers all about his old team and the adventures he'd had across the multiverse. Sam, the Irish Ranger, still looked puzzled as she spoke up. I still don't understand about that universe with all those different heroes. Was there really a butler in an iron suit? Mark couldn't help but laugh at the question. Yeah, but that wasn't even the strangest Earth I've been to. There was this one place that had... Before Mark could finish, a blaring alarm echoed through the training hall. Moments later, Eric burst in. Mark, it's Mordred. He's escaped the prison we had him in, and he's out for blood. Your blood. The room fell silent. Mark turned to face the new Royal Britannia Rangers. They weren't the team he had once known, but they looked just like them. and that made his decision an easy one. Artie, I know you've been made team leader, but mind if I take point? Let's go stop Mordred, once and for all. Artie nodded. You got it, Mark. Let's finish this. In the city, not far from Ranger Council HQ, chaos had erupted. Explosions shook the street as Mordred unleashed his fury, blasting buildings and terrorizing civilians. Bow before me. With my mother gone, I can finally show my true power. Before his laugh could echo again, a familiar voice cut through the smoke. The only power you've got is blinding people with that bald head of yours. The Royal Britannia Rangers had arrived, Mark at the front, with Artie, Sam, Jordan and Jeff standing proudly beside him. Cornish Ranger, it's been a long time. Yeah, and last time I one-punched you out cold. The other Rangers turned to him in surprise. You what? Said Sam. I had a bad day. Artie smirked, shaking his head, as Mark stepped forward, reaching for his morpher. Alright guys, let's do this! It's morphing time! Kono Bisviken! As the energy surged around Mark, a red suit appeared and his morpher found its place on his belt. A gold shield materialized with the Cornish crest at its heart. A sleek black helmet with a white cross for a visor appeared on his head. Go, Royal Britannia! Sam, Jordan, Jeff and Artie cried. As they said this, they raised their wrist morphers with gold coins, each with a particular symbol on them. A red cross with a white background for England, a white X with a blue background for Scotland, a red dragon on a green and white background for Wales, and a green four-leaf clover for Ireland. In a flash of light and energy, the Royal Britannia Rangers transformed into their Ranger forms. Okay, Royal Britannia Rangers, let's do this! The Royal Britannia Rangers charged at Mordred, who stood his ground. Dark power swirling around him as he unleashed a blast that tore through the streets. The English Ranger deflected the energy blast as the others closed in. The Scottish Ranger followed with a powerful charging strike that sent cracks through the pavement beneath Mordred. The Irish Ranger span into motion, releasing a storm of emerald wind that forced Mordred back. The Welsh Ranger fired bolts of crackling lightning that struck Mordred's armour. But Mordred fired a surge of dark magic that threw the Rangers aside, leaving only Mark standing firm at the centre of the street. The Red Cornish Ranger rushed forward, his fist engulfed in blazing red energy as he struck Mordred with a force that shook the ground. Furious, Mordred gathered a massive wave of power, ready to unleash destruction across the city. The other Rangers struggled to rise, but Mark had already made his decision. Pressing his power coin 5 times, summoning the 5 power weapons, which merged into the Power Blaster. The other Rangers gathered around him, supporting the blaster. Energy built within the weapon, glowing brighter and brighter, they fired. The blast struck Mordred directly, swallowing him in an explosion of bright colours and thunderous force. When the light faded, he was gone. In the Dimensional Command Centre, the Royal Britannia Rangers stood alongside Eric, Adam and Rocky. The room hummed with cross-dimensional energy as they gathered to bid farewell to Mark, who was preparing to return to Universe 2118. Rocky stepped forward, his voice carrying a tone of guilt. Thanks, Mark. And sorry about how this... But Mark lifted his hand, stopping him gently. It's fine. Wes's heart was in the right place. Just tell him I'm okay with them being the new generation of Rangers. A shimmering portal opened behind Mark, crackling with interdimensional light. He gave the team one last nod before stepping through, returning to the world of the Power Rangers Global. With Mark gone, Adam turned to the new team. "Alright, for now, you're all on standby, until we sort out this West situation." Rocky folded his arms, giving Artie a firm but resounding look. "For now, Eric is your mentor, and Artie, you're the leader. But you report to Eric." With their message delivered, the three legendary Rangers, Adam, Rocky and Eric, turned and departed the command center. Artie looked at his teammates, Sam, Jordan, Jeff. Each of them met his gaze, acknowledging his new role. One by one, they nodded and slowly walked out, leaving the command center.